Welcome back to Stun Club Soda. This is Worst Episode, a show where I take the beloved shows from my childhood and try to logic what seems to be the weakest outing of their sometimes very long runs. This week I wanted to talk about the baddest sword-slinging evil-fighting samurai there is. They call him Jack. He wandered around a future world seeking to destroy the evil Aku for years before it seemed that all was lost after a cliffhanger of a season 4 finale. But fret not. His journey did end. All it took was for 50 years to pass. Jack is a hero. He was a success. So naturally, we need to figure out the worst episode of Samurai Jack. Okay, what makes Samurai Jack worthwhile? What makes it good? To get to the bottom of this video, we need to figure that out first. Keeping with the nature of the show, I think it boils down to the beauty of its simplicity. The story of Samurai Jack isn't complicated. Evil returns to the world of man in the form of Aku, and like his father before him, Jack must vanquish his foe. That's way easy to grasp, and it only gets a wee bit more complicated when Jack is transported to the future. This is the X Factor. Jack is a simple man with a simple mission, lost in a world that is exactly the opposite of him. And this makes for wonderful pairings of character and setting. There's a push and pull between Jack's traditionalism and modernism that meets and greets nicely on most occasions with believable plot developments. But you can't do that without also incorporating a strong visual aesthetic. I don't want to suck off Tartakovsky too much, but I really like his work and his style. And I also love that he loves plump asses on his female characters. Oh, yeah, I do. But speaking on Samurai Jack specifically, every part of it is beautiful. From the lush or desolate landscapes all the way to the decisive or long and drawn-out fight sequences. The animation is key to establishing and maintaining the future Western style it captures so well. If it were too extravagant, it might betray this tone, at least when it was starting off, because it becomes so much more than that. Watching a scene could be like a slideshow at times, but it's crazy how well motion can be portrayed with so little actual movement. Jack kicks ass with styles from all over the world, from a plethora of different cultures, and it's put on display so elegantly that it deserves all the praise it receives. Really, the only edge Aku had over Jack was his ability and inclination to trick and deceive. He couldn't hold a candle to him in combat. I wasn't too angry that Jack took so long to finish the fight. The more interactions with Aku, the better. He's the perfect villain. Where else will you find another that is pure darkness and whatever he needs to be for a particular moment in time? Aku's flexible, and he's the comedic heart of the show. The Scotsman is the only other character that could go toe-to-toe with him in terms of raw comedic chops, so he's in good company. It's hard not to call the show perfect, but I'm here to do the hard work. It ran for 4 good seasons, took a hiatus, and stuck the dismount beautifully with season 5. It took me a while, but I believe I have settled on the worst episode of Samurai Jack. It is episode 29, Couple on a Train. It stars our favorite divorced bounty hunting couple, the Clenches. First of all, this one starts way too Western, and is way too Western. Samurai Jack is best when it blends genres and subverts. But this is straight up a Western bounty hunter episode. Jack needs information about getting to someplace, and the best way to get there is a train ride. Enter Clench, who doesn't need to pay for information since he's so intimidating. Then enter Mrs. Clench, who also doesn't need to flash any coin to get what she wants. It's established early that these two are quite good at what they do, which means they should pose at least a little bit of a threat to Jack. They each have their strengths and could possibly succeed if they actually worked together. After turning down Josephine's help, Ezekiel goes at Jack head on and has little luck in subduing the samurai, like she said would happen. With Ezekiel seemingly defeated, Jack goes back to what he was doing. Now it's Josephine's turn. She tries to woo Jack with her feminine wiles, and he doesn't bite, despite being uncomfortable in the presence of a beautiful woman. But she taps into his chivalry and honor and gets him on the roof of the train again. There, both of the Clenches get to working on Jack again. They separate him from his sword, forcing him to improvise, and ultimately Jack ends up hogtied. All was well until the Clenches fell apart, Josephine wanting the bounty all to herself. Her greed leads to Jack getting away, and the episode ends like any other, with the samurai back on the path. The episode is too heavily dependent on the clinches. It's mostly about them and fleshing out their characters. Jack is only supporting, but they aren't important enough to get any worthwhile backstory or further direction. They can't carry the episode on their own. I'm in a weird limbo of deciding whether I should care about them or not. You learn a lot about them from their banter, like they were married and are now divorced. They used to work closely together, they are very experienced, but it doesn't amount to much more substance than the basics, despite all their chatter, and they talk a lot. They take too long. I'm used to westerns that are quick and to the point. I'm looking for short and decisive battles. They start fighting at around 10 minutes and are still fighting right up until the credits roll, essentially. Perhaps they could have front-loaded the episode with more lore about the clinches, just to make their quick and inevitable defeat all the more abrupt and believable. I want to like them, but they overstay their welcome. Had they gotten focused like X-49 in his episode, this could have been a banger. Now, we don't need the beginning, middle, and end of their life story, but they're missing a certain charm that would make them endearing. You get what you get, and with Samurai Jack, what you get is mostly, if not exclusively, enjoyable. I love the bit about the restraining order Ezekiel has out on Josephine. It speaks volumes about the possible emotional abuse she put Zeke through. And the cameo by Quick Draw McGraw and Baba Louie was pretty sweet. What else is there to say? Couple on a Train technically has everything I like about Samurai Jack, but it's still the worst. There are episodes before and after this that share elements of Couple on a Train, but this one stands out as the weakest among them. I don't think it does anything great, is the problem. But it doesn't stop Samurai Jack from being phenomenal, no matter what I say. So what do you say? Am I barking up the right tree here? What are your bests and worsts for Samurai Jack? Let us know down in the comments. If you liked the video, like it. Hell, if you don't like the video, still like it. And subscribe to Stun Club Soda while you're at it. And don't forget to come back for the follow-up video where I'll talk even more about why I love Samurai Jack, but with much more gushing and giggling if you're into that. And most importantly, you have a good day.